Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Welcome. Well, what are we talking about? Fundamentally, we're talking about money. We're talking about the markets. We're talking about trade. We're talking about tariffs. So welcome to my live stream. If you don't know who I am, my name is Tara. My goal is to teach you how to follow the flow of money, economic booms, money shifts, so that you have generational prosperity and we can eliminate generational poverty. I must let you know that this is a very intense live stream. Lots of complicated information, things that you need to keep track of. So if you don't have an interest or being muted and or blocked, I am asking you to focus and pay attention. This is informational. This is educational. Next, I need you to tap that screen because the information that I'm giving you and the perspective I'm giving you, I am completely confident you're not going to get this information from anyone else because I have a unique way of thinking about things in life. So please tap that screen, get me hearts. I would like 50,000 plus today because the information that I'm giving you is going to be hard hitting and mind blowing. Last but not least, I have a moderator, if you've noticed. So if you don't want to be muted, focus, stay on topic, add value, relevant value, and let's vibe, all right? So welcome to my live stream, everyone. This is about money. Keep your religious, your political, your gender, your racial preferences to yourself, and let's focus on getting this bag. If you've never been here before, put on your helmet, strap on your seatbelt, and let's go because I'm going to push your mental boundaries to see things from a very visionary perspective, because the reason why you get caught is you say, I never thought that could happen. I never thought that could happen. Here, anything is possible when it goes with money. So Wall Street. Haven't I been telling you guys, okay? I've told you guys that these investors, these institutions were pumping and dumping. Come on now, where you go? Tap this screen. I told you to get ready. I'm a demanding woman, okay? I told you to get ready. Tap that screen. I've been telling you that these analysts, investors, and institutions were pumping up Wall Street. They proved my point again. Come on now. Let me tell you what happened. Wall Street rallies over fake news. How in the hell does a bunch of educated people with licenses to invest rally over fake news? Come on now. You guys are asleep. I need you to wake up. Come on, tap that screen, tap that screen, tap that screen. I got some mind-blowing information for you today, and I'm not giving it out until I get the love. Hello, Carlos. I get the love that I deserve. Come on now. Tap it. I need a string. This is weak. Thank you. Get your exercise for today. Come on, get that exercise. Thank you for the gift. You have a bunch of college educated, white collar suits wearing people who basically got taken. They pumped up the S&P by 8.5% in 34 minutes, and then it dropped, all because they believe that there were going to be delays and tariffs. Now the White House basically said that the news was a lie. You have people who pushed up the S&P 500 by 8.4% in 34 minutes over a lie. I need you to think about the depths of what I'm saying here. Think about the magnitude of what I'm saying. Basically, what this means is that these people who are trading with your money are not following the technicals and or the basic economic fundamentals. This must be shocking to you because to me, I'm not surprised. I find it funny because they're proving my point. But for those of you who trade, who are investors, who have retirement accounts, would you be concerned? Would you be concerned that the people who are supposed to be objectively, professionally managing your money is jumping on a bandwagon all because of a lie? A lie. And they pushed the S&P 500 up by almost 10%. Now, some of you probably thought, yay, we're back. Wrong. Because if you were watching me and you were listening to me, I told you the economics, the fundamentals do not make sense. But you probably haven't been watching me, have you? You've been watching somebody else. You haven't been listening to me. You've been listening to someone else. So consider that your first lesson. I don't care how high they make the market go. If the economic business fundamentals does not, where did you get your MBA from? None of your damn business. You got blocked. You're not paying attention. You people need to focus. If you can't focus, you're going to get booted. You have people who are licensed, who are operating under federal law, who are basically following the ass of each other. They're sniffing and smelling each other's ass in regards to investing with your money on Wall Street. Do you not see something wrong with this? I'm sorry, do you not see anything wrong with this? These folks believed it so much that they made the S&P 500 go up by 8.4% in 30 minutes. And you guys, I can tell by the hearts. You're not understanding the magnitude of what I'm saying. You see, if they can make the S&P 500 go up by 8.4% in 30 minutes, can you imagine what they've been doing to the stock market for the last 5 years? If they can inflate the stock market by 8.4% in 30 fucking minutes, can you imagine what they've done to the stock market over the last 5 years? So for those of you who've been putting your money, yeah, I'm a yeller, get over it or get the hell out. For those of you who've been putting your money in the stock market, trading off of analysts and investors who's been telling you it's okay, they've been manipulating the stock markets. The stock markets have been manipulated. They've been pumped for months. Wall Street has been pumping for months and or years. So is the Magnificent Seven great? Yes. Thank you for the Magnificent Seven is great. But the point I want you to understand is this. If you don't understand fundamentally what's going on, this is how you lose your money. You cannot just listen to what people tell you. You cannot just follow the herd. Because let me tell you something about following the herd. When you follow the herd, groups of people that get together, they actually can do things that are not good for society. When you get caught up in mob mentalities, it actually can be a detriment. It doesn't matter if it's looting. It doesn't matter if the stock market. When you are following the mass of other people and you are not taking a step back and analyzing what is going on, I'm telling you, you're playing with your money. You're playing with your money, and your money should be sacred to you. There should be some level of sacredness to your cash. So if you're going to invest, you need to make sure that the basics are there. The technicals are there. The fundamentals are there. The economic cycles support it. Government spending, consumer spending, business spending must support it. If one of these pillars are missing and or cracked, I'm telling you, you need to proceed with a little bit more caution, because that means the risk is higher. And if you cannot handle the risk, you may not make it to the reward. Where are we at? Some of you are confused. Don't be confused. You got to keep up with me. If you fell for this, consider it a lesson learned. If you fell for, what about the Magnificent Seven? I already told you about the Magnificent Seven is magnificent. But Wall Street pumped up the market. I'm going to repeat. The Magnificent Seven are titans. They're heavy hitters. But just because they're titans and they're heavy hitters, that does not mean that they weren't pumped up also by Wall Street institutional and traders and investors. That's what I said. Don't ask me questions that I already answered. You got to keep up, people. Okay? Are you with me? Because I'm just getting started. So that added $3.6 trillion. Did you hear me? 30 minutes added $3.6 trillion. They inflated the market by almost $4 trillion and 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Now, for those of you who got paid, congratulations. For those of you who got paid, congratulations. You got that money. For those of you who were too late, you should pay attention to what you're doing. I'm going to repeat. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the people who played y'all. This is money flow. This is economics. You heard me. I'm not mad at the institutional investors that played y'all. Because if you paid attention to what I was saying and you took a step back and really considered what I told you, you wouldn't have got played. So the people who pumped up the market, got that money, dumped the stock, and left y'all with your handkerchiefs, consider that a lesson learned. Don't fall for traps like this. You got played. Don't get played like that again. You think because something goes up for 30 minutes, you think if it goes up for 30 minutes, it'll go up for 60. It'll go up for 90. Nah. You're trying to play Las Vegas games. You're playing Las Vegas games. You're playing Las Vegas games. So you need to proceed with caution. You got to use that superpower, that super machine at the top of your head. You got to use that. You got to use that. There's no such thing as lazy money. There's no such thing as lazy money. Okay? You got to think. Even my portfolio analyst professors always said, you have to listen. You see, this is a game, guys. We are in a capitalistic society. We are in a capitalistic society. So if people can get over on you with information that's not real, information that's not true, they're going to do it. If they can get over on you within the realms of legality, don't you know they're going to do that? They're going to tell you what you need to hear. They're going to show you what you need to see so they can get your money. It's about money. It's not about right or wrong. Thank you for the gift. It's about money flow. Money flow. And fake news just caused a shift in money flow. Did you hear me? Money flow. Money moved from here, money moved from here, money moved back. And 30 minutes, money went from here, it went from here, and it left. And if you were too late or too soon, you didn't get that bag. Now, how to invest as market sinks. You see, guys, there's some weird thing that's happening. There's some really weird things that are happening around me. Okay, I want you to tap this screen because I need you guys to expand your mind and I need you to work with me here. Those of you who have been watching me for a few days, few weeks, okay, if you attend my lives regularly, you hear a consistency in my message, okay? You hear consistency in my message. Now, what I'm finding is that my message is actually being used by other people after I say it. I'm going to repeat what I said. There's some people with more prominence than me who are doing an about face, which means 1 minute they were saying one thing, and then after I say something, they're saying something completely different. Hi, Aaron, welcome. I want you to pay attention because I got the dates to back it up. Let me give you an example. BlackRock. BlackRock is an institution or investment institution. Now, a week or two ago, it could be a week or 3 weeks ago, I mentioned that the CEO, Larry Fink, was advocating for U.S. domestic investors and foreign investors to place their money in the great country of China. I'm going to repeat. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. BlackRock is an investment institution. BlackRock owns most of Bitcoin as an institutional investor. Are you with me? If you don't believe me, do your research. Now, if you've been watching me, I told you that the advice that Larry Fink from BlackRock was telling you did not make economic sense. Because we're dealing with trade wars, I like to call it Hunger Games, Hunger Game trade wars, Larry Fink was trying to convince all of you that China's economy was overweight and the U.S. economy was neutral. And that is why you should pull your domestic and foreign investment out of the United States of America and place it into China. Now, what I told you is as follows. I said because of our geopolitical conflicts, okay, in regards to tariffs and other things, I said I personally would not suggest that you pull your money out and put your money into China. And I explained to you based off of history. China has an economy, has a country, has a government that has values that are different from our values, which means it is heavily state-owned. Okay? And when you have a heavily state-owned country, that gives them certain rights and liberties on their sovereign soil. So I told you, just like the US and the EU can freeze the assets of Russian citizens that had nothing to do with the Ukraine war, I said if I was China and I wanted leverage for trade, I would have people trying to convince you to put your money into China, and I would potentially freeze your assets. Because if we can do it to Russia, we can do it to Russian citizens that have nothing to do with the Ukraine-Russia war. Why would China not do it to U.S. firms? Okay? So I said, what Larry Fink from BlackRock is suggesting is a risky move. Because if you understand history and you understand the ideas that go with that country, you know there are hidden costs that are associated, especially during economic tumultuous times, that could get your money, assets, and capital locked down on foreign soil. Now, they were spouting that for a few weeks. So now Mr. Ben Powell, who works for Larry Fink, goes on to CNBC, and he basically says as follows. People should, they go from investing in China to saying, invest according to your personality. Get cash. Wait the markets out. AI is booming. Focus on technicals and fundamentals. Isn't that what the hell I've been saying? While they were telling you to go to China, I told you to look at the economic fundamentals and get back to the technicals. I also told you cash is king. And when you're dealing with economic uncertainty, you do not want to put your money in uncertain locations. So this is another example of after I say something, you have a firm, a group of people who have a little bit more notoriety than me, that are using what I'm saying after I say it. If you don't believe me, check your facts. I got live streams to back it up what I'm saying. Now, why am I bringing this up to you? One, I'm giving you proof on why you're watching me. Two, I'm giving you proof that people are taking what I'm saying. And third, anytime someone says one thing and they say another, can you trust them? I'm just saying. If you change your position overnight, just like that tells me, no. If you haven't watched me, keep watching me, because I got a few examples like this. After I say it, something changes. After I say something, something changes. Let me keep going. Now, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs. And let me tell you what's happening with Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs basically had a few people who are OGs, who are veterans, who hopped off of Goldman Sachs, and they've started their own, another company called Peak Alts. Now, Goldman Sachs basically says they are raising the odds of a U.S. recession. They say they see a recession in the next 12 months going to 45%, and they predict a depression in capital. Economic fundamentals aren't as strong as previous years. So now you have another firm who are talking about economic fundamentals, and a few days ago, they had another face. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to what is happening in the news, because people are changing their story. Now, part of you saying, well, they're changing their story because it makes sense. 3 days ago, Goldman Sachs knew there was a recession. 4 weeks ago, Goldman Sachs knew a recession. And these people were still trying to convince you that the market was still green. So I don't know who's in my live stream, who's listening to me, but I want y'all to know, my fans, my loyal people, there are people like Goldman Sachs and BlackRock who are sneaking and creeping up here, taking my information, and I'm using it, and I'm going to call that. But I'm not done yet. There's some more coincidences, because I want you guys to realize I want you to go back to the core foundation of your understanding of money. You see, even when a stock market is declining, for those of you who watched me yesterday, I told you how to invest your money. A lot of you guys were not here yesterday. And I gave some unbelievable, mind-blowing information about what you do that is different and revolutionary on how you approach the markets. Because some of you people are trying to bet on a horse. So next time you miss my live stream, it better be worth it, okay? Because I'm trying to teach you how to follow money. And anyone in my live stream, don't tell them. Anyone who watched me yesterday, do not tell anybody today what I shared, because they should have had their ass in my live stream yesterday. And that's real talk, okay? If you miss me, you better be missing me for a good damn reason, okay? Because what you missed yesterday would have changed your whole perspective on how you're going about this wrong and how you are approaching investments in an economic recession/depression in the story. And anyone who tells them, I will block you. Okay, I want to be clear. Anyone who tells anyone what I said yesterday, you will get blocked. Okay? You will get blocked. Don't share the information. Now, here we go. Oh boy. Hold on. Here we go. 2 weeks ago, I said this 2 weeks ago. Actually, no. 2 weeks ago, I told you that U.S. firms run the risk of getting their assets frozen due to what is happening in the global economy in China. I mentioned that. I also did not tell you that China tells the U.S. companies that it will protect the rights of foreign firms. Listen to me. You got to pay attention really closely. Anyone who's been watching me for a week or two, I actually issued a PSA announcement. I issued a PSA announcement. I said, if we can freeze Russian citizens' assets who had nothing to do with the Ukraine-Russian war, I told you because of what was happening globally in regards to tariffs and people's economies being impacted. I said, if you listen to companies like BlackRock, Citibank, and or HSBC, and you pull your investments out of the U.S. and place it in another country who has more communist values, and communist values means state-controlled, you run the risk of your assets and investments getting frozen. So I said, instead of listening to BlackRock, I'm asking you to pump your brakes. Yesterday, let me tell you what was announced. There was an article that came out in Reuters. Okay, follow me? There was a 1-minute article that came out in Reuters. And this article basically said China tells U.S. companies that it will protect the rights of foreign firms. Listen to me. An article came out yesterday in Reuters that was 1 minute long. The headline says, China says it will protect the rights of U.S. firms in China. This is after I told you that your funds and your assets, if you invest there, could potentially be frozen. You can look it up. Tap that screen. So how is it that a week or two ago, I told you, don't listen to BlackRock, don't listen to Citibank, and an article comes out that's 1 minute long in Reuters that says China will fight to protect the rights of U.S. firms in China? Are you with me? This is why you watch me. Now, it's hilarious, this article, because, hi, Gwendolyn, why would you issue a news article to the world saying that you will protect the rights of U.S. firms in China? When you make the rights. When you have a government that has certain values and they can decide like that you can't do business there, what rights do you have really when they can decide over a nice meal that you no longer have rights? So when you read an article that says they are telling U.S. companies that they will protect the rights of foreign firms, they told U.S. companies that China will protect foreign funded firms. They will protect foreign funded firms. And Beijing says they have no plans to penalize U.S. companies amid trade wars. Listen to me. Beijing says they have no plans to penalize U.S. companies amid trade wars. They said China is ideal, it's safe, and it's a promising investment ground. This is after I told you what could happen. Now, I want to pick this apart. Beijing says it has no plans. Let me tell you what someone told me about plans. Plans change. They did not say, we will never impact your rights as foreign domestic firms in China. They didn't say that. They said, we have no plans. You got to listen to what you're being told. And you know about plans. Do plans go as planned? Am I live? I'm going to give you permission. Do plans go as planned? Come on, people. I'm at the halfway mark. Y'all are sleeping at the wheel. Tap, tap, tap. Do plans go as planned? No. Plans do not go as planned. Now, let me tell you what's happening. Thank you. Let me tell you what I believe is happening. All right. You want to know what I think? Who wants to know what I think? Come on, tap those screens if you want to know what I think. Because I'm getting ready to hit you. I'm getting ready to hit you, and I'm getting ready to TKO. I'm getting ready to TKO you. Come on, tap that screen. No, tell them anyway. That's not how this works, love. Okay? This is an economic transaction. You give me love, I give you my insight. Tap that screen. Let me tell you what's happening. All right? Strategy. Yes. What y'all doing? What y'all doing? If you want it, you got to prove it. Thank you for the gift. Come on. Let's go. Tap, 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 tap. Come on, tap, tap, tap. Okay? Let me tell you what's happening. Right now, oh man, y'all sleeping. I'm telling you, I'm going to shock you. I got to know if you can handle it. Can you handle this? Show me you can handle this. Come on. Come on. Let me see if you can handle this. This is called strategy, guys. This is called strategy. All right, let me tell you what's happening. Oh, man. I'm about to go to sleep. Goodbye, lady. Goodbye, lady. All right, you want to know? Let me tell you what's happening. By putting out a news article, by putting out "We Sleep Girl," then you go to sleep. Anybody who sleeps on money or anyone who goes to sleep on this, go to sleep. Stay asleep. Seriously, this is my live stream, people. I run this show. If you want to go to sleep, bye-bye. Nighty-night time. This is about strategy. Right now, what we're dealing with is as follows. There are trade wars happening, okay? There's trade wars that's happening, and China says they vow to fight to the end. So on one hand, they're telling you, we will protect the rights of U.S. firms in China, okay? They're saying they will protect the rights of U.S. firms in China. On the other hand, they're vowing to fight to the end if the U.S. insists on new tariffs. Now, here's the thing. Let me tell you what the plan is. It's my thoughts that by convincing U.S. firms that they are safe to invest in China and to not pull their money out, let me tell you what's going to happen, what I think is going to happen. When there's a certain quantity of money that stays or in an influx, I believe they're going to have some type of investigation that allows them to lock the capital, and then they can use U.S. capital investments as negotiation against Trump and these tariffs. Did you hear me? If it was me, I would convince all U.S. firms to keep your money there. And when there was a certain amount of capital in my country, I would put you under investigation. I would lock that money down. And then I would go to Trump. And say, look, bruh, if you want to get these trillions of dollars of assets out of my country, give me better trade deals. That's called strategy, baby. That's called strategy. So when you put out an article that says, we will protect the rights of U.S. firms on our soil, what rights? You define what rights they have. It's your country. So when you read these articles and they say we will fight to protect your rights as foreigners investing in our country, you only have as much rights as they give you. And when they get you to, just like Wall Street, thank you for the dog. Dusty. Dusty. Oh man, Dusty, I love you. Okay, Dusty, thank you. Okay, just like Wall Street pumped up the S&P 500 by 8.4% in 30 minutes by issuing this article. It's supposed to cause investors to get comfortable, to keep their money there, and then I would seize it. I would seize it and go to Trump. And if it's a high enough money, high enough dollar amount, Trump has no choice but to negotiate. Kinky, you're probably right. But let me tell you something. Sometimes it is complicated. Sometimes it is complicated. Sometimes it is complicated. If you want to have leverage, negotiation leverage, cash is king. Didn't I tell you that? In an economic recession / depression, cash is king. What better way to motivate Trump to come to the table and to give them what they want by having U.S. capital assets as a bargaining chip? I'm just saying. Now, some of you think it's complicated. People are complicated. Some of you think they can just sell off U.S. debt. They can. But I'm sure they will be impacted. The fact is this. If it was as simple as selling off U.S. debt, why are they fighting with us? All China has to do is come to the U.S. and say, look, if you don't give us better trade deals, we're going to sell your debt. So, Black Afro, on one hand, what you're saying is true. But if it was really true, why haven't they done it already? If it was going to work. If it truly worked, why haven't they done it already? So, is it simple or is it complicated? Is it simple or is it complicated? Because if I could sell off U.S. debt and I knew I could bring the economy to its knees to get a trade deal that worked for my company or worked for my country, I would have already done it. I could be wrong. I'm just telling you my thoughts, okay? I'm telling you my thoughts. Very simple. I'm telling you my thoughts. You can take it as you please. Sister, I don't know if Musk would do that. I don't see Musk doing that, but it remains to be seen. I don't know. But let me tell you this. China has vowed to fight to the end if the U.S. insists on tariffs. It said, the president says, if war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight to the end. That was March 5th, 2025. I'm going to repeat. March 5th, 2025, the president says, if war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight to the end. So if you're ready to fight to the end, and you're telling U.S. firms that they're safe, to me that doesn't make sense. To me that doesn't make sense. Because if you don't know this, Chinese firms were stopped, halted from investing in the United States. Domestic firms in China, they were halted by the government from investing or completing economic business deals with U.S. companies. So U.S. companies can do business in China, but Chinese companies cannot do business with America. Is your money really safe? I'm just saying, connect the dots. If the story doesn't make sense, that means there's something that's not right. Okay? You're ready to fight for the end, and American firms are safe. Chinese firms can't do business with American firms, but American firms can do business with China. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. What am I talking about? Goodbye, Chaz. All right? Now, the president also said, U.S. threat to escalate tariffs on China is a mistake. President Trump is threatening to escalate, increase tariffs on China. The president is saying it is a mistake on top of a mistake, which once again exposes the extortionist nature of the U.S., okay? He's basically saying putting more tariffs on China is a mistake on top of mistake, and it basically makes the U.S. look like they are performing extortion, all right? And if the U.S. insists on its own way, China will fight to the end. If they're fighting by any means necessary, how is your investments safe? That's what this is about. This is about money. They don't need to be afraid, but I'm telling you, this is about money. They're telling you your money's safe. U.S. firms, U.S. investors, your money's safe. Okay, this is not about right or wrong. This is about money. They're telling you that U.S. domestic and foreign investment is safe in China. Yet, they're saying if you want it, you can get it. That doesn't match. If you are for creating an environment in which investment will come, why are you talking about fighting? So, those of you who like to invest internationally, I'm asking you to think about this. Think about this. Just think about this. Is the risk, the possibility of you getting your money frozen, is it possibly worth it? If people are talking about fighting and they're blocking certain transactions from happening. For example, C.K. Hutchison. Does anyone know about C.K. Hutchison? C.K. Hutchison is a company that owned strategic ports all over the world. It was owned by a man called Li Ka-shing. Li Ka-shing is a Chinese billionaire. China stopped Li Ka-shing from selling 2 of its ports to the United States. Then Li Ka-shing was stopped from selling any of his ports to the world. And now Li Ka-shing is under investigation. I'm not done with y'all yet. I want y'all to think it through. That is the purpose of my live stream. The purpose of my live stream is stop listening to companies like BlackRock, okay? Stop listening to Citibank and start looking at the bigger picture. I told you history, current events, geopolitical battles, all that plays a part. All of that plays a part on money. And if you are investing off of fake news, like what happened with Wall Street, I'm telling you, you're moving wrong. You're moving wrong. And you got to stop moving that way. You're going to have more respect for cash. Why, Kathy, why do you want to know about my credentials? When people start asking me about my credentials, let me tell you what that means. Anyone who starts asking me about my credentials, let me tell you about credentials. When investors cause the S&P 500 to go up by 8.4% off of fake news, tell me about that credential. Hold on. You want to ask me, Kathy, about my credentials. Let me ask you about your mental credentials. People invested in the S&P 500 off of fake news, and you're supposed to be licensed and accredited to invest. Let me tell you what you are. You're mad. You're mad. You're mad because your education and your fundamentals ain't making sense. And you think you're going to come up in my live stream to ask me about my credentials. Here's the thing, Miss Kathy. I make sense. That's why you're asking me. I make sense. And you can't understand how in the hell I know some shit that you don't know. Right? Let me tell you what a credential is worth. A credential is worth BS if you don't know that you're being played off of fake news and the S&P 500. Try me. Try me. Who invests and doesn't verify? People with credentials. But if you want to know if I'm educated, you can tell by the way I talk that I'm educated. So who the hell are you? You can tell by the way I talk I'm educated. Huh? You think I'm here to prove myself to you? You think I'm here for your validation? You think I'm here for your approval? I'm here for my audience. I'm here to teach my audience how to follow money flow. One economic boom to the next without getting played by people like you with goddamn fake ass credentials who can't think for themselves. Do you understand? Try me. Now you just got muted. You can stay and watch and be bitter, or you can scroll and move the hell on with you and your life and your credentials. Do you understand? Hater. Hater. Next. Now, I'm going to wrap this up. Okay? Hi, Miami. Don't try me. You see, guys, when they start asking you about your credentials, you can listen to me and tell that I'm educated. You can listen to me and tell that I'm educated. And the fact that your Karen Kathy ass come up in my live stream trying to question me when you should be focusing and paying attention. You should be focusing and paying attention. Because if you were listening to me, you wouldn't have got played by a fake spike and S&P that was based off of a lie. Clock that. Okay? Now, let me tell you what's happening. Don't block her. I don't want to block her. I want to mute her. I want her to sit there in agony and watch me. You hear me, Karen? I'm sorry, Kathy. Did you hear me? Karen, Kathy, did you hear me? Now, back on topic. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I mentioned that the reason why the U.S. has such economic power and influence is because we have a consumer-based society. I've said this many, many times. I thank you for the gift. I also said that someone asked me about BRICS. They asked me about the influence of BRICS. I said the problem with some of these groups that come together, let me tell you the problem. Some of these countries that are coming together, they have socialist/communist type of societies in which they tax their citizens about 50% plus. When you tax your citizens such heavy amounts and you provide them with free healthcare, free education, free this, free that, you actually take away some of their economic buying power. Okay? If you watched me, you heard that. When you tax your citizens because you have socialist-based economic policies, you actually take away your consumers having purchasing power. That's the difference between capitalism, socialism, and communism. Check your history. So let me tell you what is happening. Hello, Florida. Let me tell you what's happening. I've told you time and time again, consumers need more money to get more power. Now, let me tell you what's just happened. Xi has vowed to fully unleash consumption in the face of tariffs. Let me tell you something. China is going to increase the salaries of its citizens so that they have more domestic buying power. Listen to me, okay? I've been telling you that consumers need more purchasing power. China had just said, okay, I tell you, I say things. I tell you, I say things, and I'm telling you stuff that comes out after I say it. I'm giving you proof. I told you that the U.S. is so strong is because of our consumer buying power. China has now decided to expand domestic demand, and they're going to do that by boosting the income of their citizens. They're going to distribute more wealth to its consumers. Are you listening to me? What I'm telling you is huge. What I'm telling you is huge. I don't care who wins. This is about money flow, and this is about y'all understanding who the hell you're watching. I told you consumers need more purchasing power. China has all of a sudden said that they're going to increase the salaries of their citizens so that they have more buying power. First, I'm tapping myself on the back because I'm that bitch. You hear me, Karen Kathy? I'm that one. Did you hear me? They're going to give a higher income to their citizens because of the U.S.'s impact on their economy. Now, let me tell you why I think this will not work. It will work temporarily, but it will not work long term. Let me explain to you why. The reason why capitalism works is that there's an influx and there's an outflux that helps stimulate the economy. If China is in some version closing off their economy, their country, like they have a history of doing, they have a history of shutting down their country and their economy in varying degrees. Okay? Now, China thinks if I use a portion of my GDP and I give people higher income, magically people are getting paid more money, my citizens can then buy more of our goods and we do not have to rely on the US. Guys, it's not going to fundamentally work. If there's not an influx of investment from outside of China, this wheel is like a hamster wheel. It's not going to work.
Plus they made too much.
It's not going to work. First, they made too much. Second, why are you giving them more money now? Why didn't you increase their income before? Why are you giving them money now? It's like yes, it's kind of like a stimulus check. Stimulus checks only last for so long. It's a stopgap arrangement. Unless China engages with global trade and have an influx, meaning companies can safely invest and get their money out of China, this is only going to work for so long. Next, when you give people more money who are not used to having that amount of money, when people get money, they get brand new. Did you hear me? When people get more money, they get brand new. They start having thoughts. They start having opinions. They start wanting to have freedom. So when you give your citizens more money, you must understand there is a social consequence to that. And that social consequence will be shut down by the government because the government has different ideas. You can't play with capitalism. You can't put one foot in and shut off the rest of the body. So even though their citizens are getting more money, they do not have rights that we have in a capitalistic society. So that's why I say it's a stopgap arrangement. It's a nice way to get them to buy the goods, but the goods were made for the US. China manufactures goods for American Western citizens. So now you're trying to get your citizens to buy your goods with your money. The government's paying people to buy goods that they made. This is not going to work. It's a facade. There's no new influx. You're paying people to buy things that you made. That's like me baking bread and me giving my daughter $1 to buy my bread. Did you hear me? It's like me making bread. I bake a loaf of bread. I'm selling this bread. I give my daughter $1 to buy my bread back with my money. Do y'all understand that? That's like you paying someone to buy your stuff. That's like going to McDonald's and McDonald's gives you money to buy hamburger. This is not economics, okay? This is not economics. It's going to backfire. It's going to backfire.
It's the same amount of money in the country.
It's the same amount of money in the country. So your GDP is not growing. You have to come to the table and negotiate. Whoever's listening to me in my live stream, Karen, Kathy, I want you to report back, Karen, because Karen's the ops. Okay, I want you to know that Miss Karen Kathy is ops. Karen, I want you to listen to me, Kathy. You're the ops, baby. I want you to go back and say what I said. I want you to tell that this is a stopgap arrangement and it's going to have midterm and long-term consequences. And I personally do not think that this is the best approach because you cannot just dabble. You cannot dabble in capitalism. You can't pick and choose what you want and think that it's going to allow your economy to bounce back in a constructive way. This is a delayed economic contraction. It's delaying. You got to have a better way to approach this, okay? You have to have a better approach. Now, where do I think they're getting the money from? All right, I'm going to wrap up. This is my last thing. Where do I think they're getting the money from to give the citizens a raise? Hold on. I told you I'm going to finish you off, and then I'm going to let some of y'all leave, and I'm going to tell the rest of the people how to earn money. Let me tell you where I think they're getting the money from. Let me tell you where I think they're getting the money from. These are just my thoughts. I told you guys I'm a deep thinker. I'm a visionary type of thinker. Do you want to know where I think they're getting the money from to increase the salaries of their citizens? Now, they say it's the GDP, but you know GDP is made up of businesses, product-based businesses, service-based businesses. Do you want to know where I think they're getting the money from? Show me some love. Show me some love. Come on, Kathy. You can tap the screen too, sweetheart. Don't be bitter, Kathy. Come on now. Tap that screen, Kathy. Don't be bitter. Don't be bitter, Kathy. Miss Kathy, don't be mean. Come on now. You got to give respect where respect is due. Let me tell you where they're getting the money from. Remember I told you about C.K. Hutchinson? No, it's not just the government. You see, when you have a communist government, they can seize the assets of their citizens anytime. So I believe some of the money is coming from Alibaba and some of the money is coming from C.K. Hutchinson. Did you hear me? When the government seizes your assets and stops you and puts you under investigation, they can use your money. It's very similar to what the U.S. government, did during 9/11. It's what we did during COVID-19. During particular times, the government is able to exert a certain level of influence and power that allows them to seize assets. Yes, the U.S. has done it too. The U.S. seizes assets, and then they use the money accordingly. So I believe the citizens are actually going to get an income boost off of billionaires who built up companies who've been benefiting from trade. I'm just being hypothetical. Hypothetical. You know money doesn't come from air, right? Money doesn't come from air. Money flows. Money shifts. So if money is shifting to citizens who have never got a raise like this before in their life, I want to be clear. If money is flowing to citizens who have not gotten a raise like this based off of GDP, the money has to come from someplace. I told you money does not disappear. Money moves, money shifts. And when you change law and you change policies, guess what you do? You can snatch that bag and you can make it rain. You can take someone else's money and spend it on other people. I'm just saying, these are my thoughts. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I'll tell you when the news comes out, I'll tell you if it's true or not. But I'm telling you, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense, one. And I'm telling you, money flows. Money flows, and money flows for a reason. So those of you who want to learn how they can earn a six-figure income in an industry that is booming, stay. For those of you who got what you needed, thank you for following me. I will be back again tomorrow. Please, smooth down your hair, get yourself together. You got to bring it to keep up with me. And those of you who want to know how to stack this money legally, legitly, and the digital wave and the digital economic boom, I have an opportunity that will show you how you can have 2-hour workdays, get paid daily, and earn 100% of the money worldwide. I'm going to repeat. Those of you who can't get a job, can't keep a job, and is going through your savings or your retirement is on vacation, your retirement account is on vacation, if you want to know how to secure your future by riding this current economic boom, there's a boom happening right now. There's a recession/depression, and there's an economic boom that's happening. If you want to know how to ride this economic boom, no matter your education, no matter your skill set, stay. Everyone else, see you tomorrow. So let's get on it. Right now, there's an economic boom that's happening in the digital industry, okay? What is the digital industry? The digital industry includes cybersecurity, AI, quantum computing, automations, robotics, and e-learning. Now, all of these things that I mentioned and some more, they actually make up this economic boom that's happening right now. Now, the e-learning industry is a microeconomic boom. What is an economic boom? That means real money is being invested in technologies that are going to improve the quality of life that we live. AI, quantum computing, and automations and humanoid robots are some of the main reasons why you guys are not able to secure employment in the way that you've become accustomed to. Because of this digital economic boom, old money systems, old money structures are being destroyed. So instead of you battling by sending out resumes, working your network, you must understand old money systems are being destroyed. Look at the stock market. Okay? I had a woman about 4 weeks ago named Tonya. She came in here and tried to tell you people that you shouldn't listen to me. Tonya is no longer, she's probably not trading anymore. I can tell you that right now. Tonya was a stockbroker. Okay? She's probably not trading anymore. I'm telling you that right now. Reason why I'm telling you that is that AI, quantum computing, they are sucking out the prosperity and the money of industries. Thank you. They're sucking out the money of industries. Now, what does that mean? I told you money moves. Money does not disappear. So AI is taking money out of jobs that you have worked. Automations are taking those jobs. Humanoid robots are 2 to 3 years away. Did you hear me? Humanoid robots are 2 to 3 years away. Human beings cannot compete with a robot that can work 24/7. I want you to listen to me very carefully. Your employment options are going to look differently than what you expect. Trump is bringing back industries, but he is not bringing back industries and manufacturing for you to be employed. You want to know why? Because you have companies like Nvidia, Microsoft, Tesla, who are creating robots that will allow these companies to have greater efficiencies and higher profits without paying for the salaries of humans. So what do you do as a human being? Well, if you can't find a job and the government is cutting benefits, you have to have your own business. Now, what I want you to consider is as follows. If AI and automations and robots are putting you out of a job, imagine if you could use AI and automations to earn an income. You see, if you can't beat it, that means it's bigger than you. So what do? Am I AI? Yes, Matt. And you just got muted and or blocked. What do? You do what rich people do. Real rich people, not the fake people following lies on Wall Street. Let me tell you what they do. They have right timing. They invest in technology and they get knowledge. Even Mark Cuban, when he bought the Dallas Cowboys, you think he just bought it for fun? No, he bought it because it was an investment. So if you want to learn how to ride one economic boom to the next, this is the recipe. You got to have the right timing. Those of you who got played on Wall Street, your timing was off, okay? Next, you got to have the technology. Next, you got to have the knowledge. What is the purpose of having the technology without the knowledge? You can't earn money. So this is the basic formula from riding one economic boom to the next. You don't ride an economic boom and then lose the money. It's the Mavericks thank you. You don't ride the economic boom to the next. No, that's you don't ride and drop. Thank you. Thank you for that. Guys, I'm not a sports fan. All I know is Mark Cuban is rich and he owns a team. So thank you for correcting me. Okay? Thank you for correcting me. This is how you stack money. You don't collapse. Thank you. I appreciate you. See, guys, I can be wrong on some things, but when it comes to following money, I'm usually right. When it comes to money and avoiding disaster, that's one of my gifts. I want you to know that. Sports teams, completely wrong. I own it, all right? So this is how you ride an economic boom. You ride it, you hop off, and you get on the next one. You don't earn money to lose money. Did you hear me? You don't earn money to lose money. So what do? Right now, the e-learning industry is a $1.5 billion daily industry. Did you hear me? I said billion. Daily. And it's projected to double by 2027. So for those of you who are asleep next to your bank account, I said this is 2025. And by 2027, the e-learning industry is projected to double. So it's going to become $3 billion daily. Now, how do you earn income from this? I'm going to tell you. It's very simple. If you're not earning money from your cell phone legally, if you don't have a 2-hour workday, really, if you're not getting paid daily, actually, and if you don't earn 100% of the money, what you doing? I'm going to repeat. If you don't get paid daily, you don't earn 100% of the money you earn, and you don't have a 2-hour workday, that tells me that you are following old money systems, belief systems that will make you go broke. Now, you happen to be alive during a time where digital technologies are increasing efficiencies and it's making life easier. Now, some of you have businesses and your businesses cost too much money. That's why you don't earn 100% of the income. To have 100% income, you must have no business expenses. Automations, there you go. Did you hear me? To have 100% of the income, that means you have no expenses. So imagine having a business in an industry that is booming. That's a real bull market. That's a real bull market. Did you hear me? A real bull market. Having a business in an industry using technologies that's in a real bull market that's projected to double in 2 years, that allows you to have a 2-hour workday, daily pay, and 100% of the profits. Now, how do you do this? Well, the timing is now. If I'm telling you this industry is projected to double in 2 years, that means the timing is right now. Next, there is a pre-built, that means it's already built, automated system. When I say automated, I mean exactly that. It is online, which is in the digital boom. It is using automations, which is in the digital boom. It's using AI, which is in the digital boom. And it's in the e-learning industry, which is a digital boom. This is called 4 pillars of success. 4 pillars of success. Now, the automated system and the knowledge comes together. So you get reskilled digitally. You get reskilled digitally and have an automated system that comes together that allows you to have a 2-hour workday, daily pay, and 100% profits. Now, some of you are saying this is a pyramid. If you understand anything about a pyramid is not made up of one person. If you're earning 100% of the profits, it can't be a pyramid. If you're earning 100% of the profits, it can't be multi-level marketing. If you're earning 100% of the profits, this can't be network or affiliate marketing. So I'm going to squash that. This is not a job. You are investing in technology that benefits you. You do not work for me. If you invest in your automated system, you earn 100% of the money. You also get reskilled. You see, anyone who watches me, you can't ride the next economic booms unless you get the basics. You are in a time that is revolutionary. And if you don't know how to earn money digitally online, how do you expect the future is going to look? AI is not going anywhere. Robots are not going anywhere. Quantum computing, they're not going anywhere. So if your only skills are based on sitting in a cubicle or working a cash register or driving Uber, you can't ride this economic boom. You must get digital skills to ride the future economic booms. This is how you go from broke money to new money to more money. You must have knowledge and you must have the technology. Real talk. Now, you're saying, I don't know anything. That's good news. That's good news, because guess what? If you don't know how to earn money online, it doesn't matter what you know, because you're going to be taught everything you need to know. You can be an executive. You can be a driver. You can be a nanny. You can be a gardener. You can be a stay-at-home mom. If you already do not know how to earn money online with digital skills, it doesn't matter what you know. If you don't have a 2-hour workday, doesn't matter what you know. If you don't earn 100% of the profits off of your efforts, it doesn't matter what you know. You are in a new game, and a new time, and a new way. So if you guys want to know what to do, I'm going to tell you. First, it's affordable. It's affordable. If you're watching me from a cell phone, you can afford this. It's a one-time low investment. One-time low investment of $600, $300, or $100. There's no monthly fees. There are no monthly fees. It's a one-time low investment. You get an automated system that's already built. and you get educated, reskilled with digital skills, which you can use for the rest of your lifetime. These are skills that you can use for the rest of your life. These are six-figure income earning skills. I don't care if you're a plastic surgeon, you are a massage therapist, you are a foot doctor. If you do not know how to earn money online without spending on marketing and advertising, without any inventory or cost, you need these skills. These are 6-7-figure income earning skills, and you can be a high school dropout to do this. A 4-year-old can do this. So I'm going to repeat. It's a one-time low investment and an automated system that you can get up and running within 24 to 72 hours. All you have to do is plug in your domain. You will be reskilled. 6-figure income earning skills. You will be reskilled and taught how to earn money online. These skills that you're taught go beyond what you see right now. This is your foundation to ride this digital wave, this digital economic boom that's going to happen for generations to come. So if you have any interest in learning how to build generational prosperity using technologies that are basically making you go broke, you need this foundation. And where does the information? It's on my profile. I don't give out my website. My profile has my website. My website will take you where you need to go. Real talk. I give you information, but I do not spoon feed you. This is legal. How young people, of course they can benefit. I just told you, you can be, if you have a cell phone and you're a high school dropout and you understand the value of what you're getting, it changes many people's lives. So for those of you who are stuck in your ways, you must critically understand what I'm saying. You're using a cell phone. You're finding. So for those of you who are stuck in your ways, you must critically understand what I'm saying. You're using a cell phone. You're finding EPA, you got to get some form of a license. You want to be an investor, you have to get some type of a license. There's no red tape. There's no gatekeeper. There's no licenses. There's no permits. This is the perfect time for you to take your experience, background, whatever you have, and turn it into something new. Digital technologies are leveling the playing field. They're getting rid of glass ceilings. They're allowing people to have time freedom, economic freedom, all off of 6-figure income earning skills that you can use for the foreseeable future. Now, right now, the technology is automations. It's AI. It's e-learning. In the future, it's going to be something else. So if you haven't mastered this, how are you going to go to high school? If you can't graduate from elementary school, you can't get to high school. So consider this your elementary school. It is affordable. There are payment plans for people, and you can do this. Your cell phone costs you $1,000. Your flat screen TV costs you a few $100s, and or your gaming system costs you a few $100s. So if you can waste money on that, which earns you no money, and you still work 8 to 12 hours a day, why would you not invest and model the behavior of people like Elon Musk? That's what rich people do. They invest at the right time. They have ownership. They get knowledgeable. They take action. They take that money. They make more money. Elon Musk is one of the founders of PayPal. Did you know that? Elon Musk, the man that you love to hate and love to love, was one of the founders of PayPal. When he sold PayPal, he took that money and rolled it over to renewable energy and EV. Did you know that? This is how you stack bank. There's many people like him that do this. So if you want to know why the rich keep getting ahead, because they follow a simple formula. They are visionary. They recognize timing. They see opportunity. They invest in technology, not risky investments, stable, money earning investment, and they get knowledge and they build on that. Elon Musk went from PayPal, which is a financial tool, to renewable energy. Listen to me. He rode the boom, the dot-com boom of PayPal, cashed out at the right time, put that money into renewable energy, and here this man is again making bank. I just gave you proof. And this is how you go from one economic boom to the next. You take the money from the past economic boom, you stack it on the next economic boom, you stack it on the next economic boom. And this is how average, everyday people like you all over the world start building generational prosperity versus generational poverty. You can be in Africa and do this. You can be in Australia. You can be in the UK. You can be in Canada, Mexico, the Philippines. People are all over the world doing this. And this is your own business with no expenses, and you earn all the income. The only thing that you're missing is the technology and the knowledge. And they both come together. One-time investment, low investment. That's it. I'm done. Thank you for the love. For those of you who joined me for your first time, I hope you will come back. I'm usually blowing minds every single day. And if you miss my live stream, you should be a little upset with yourself, okay? Because you're missing valuable information. Have a good night. Thank you. How do you join? Go. This is not joining. I want to be clear. This is not about joining. This is about you investing in technologies that allows you to have your own business, work for yourself, earn 100% of the profits. So how do you get this bag? You go to my profile, you go to my website, and you go from there. That's it. Let's stack this cash. Let's tap this cash. Let's stash this cash. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.